You're listening to the ESO Network, your station for all things geek.
Welcome to episode 233 of the Rusted Robot Podcast for Sunday, February 10th, 2019.
X-Ray Delta 1, this is Mission Control. Roger, you're 1930.
Just what do you think you're doing, Dave?
All I'm offering is the truth, nothing more.
All right, I'll take a shot at it. What the hell, it works on Star Trek.
There's a fleet of Star Destroyers coming out of hyperspace in Sector 4.
Ship, abandoned ship. All personnel proceed to escape pods. Close down the circuit.
Come quietly or there will be trouble.
I am the law.
Put down your weapon. You have 20 seconds to comply.
And I show you how deep the rabbit hole goes.
And now we take a quantum leap forward.
Hey gang, I'm your host Sean, and with me today is
Josh!
And...
Kitty.
Who?
Kitty.
Say that one more time.
Kitty.
You're still sick.
A little bit, yeah.
That's bad.
Yeah.
Oh.
I also can't hear on one side, so it's messing me up.
Can you hear on the side that I'm sitting on?
Mm-mm.
Oh, this is the side you can't hear.
Yeah.
So you're reading my lips.
Yeah.
Right.
Well, and I can hear from the other side. Like.
Okay. So you're somewhat alright.
That's so long as she's facing you, she's fine.
Okay. Well, we'll go with that. So how's everybody been?
Sick.
This is the House of Plagues.
Well, you're sick. I know that. But are you sick?
Josh is the one who made me sick with the second thing.
I debate that, but...
It's true.
Is it?
Yeah.
Oh. Okay. Well, we'll move right along then. Guess what I got this week?
The plague.
No.
You do now.
Surprise.
Oh, great. Yay. Well, besides 25 centimeters of snow in one day...
Didn't you get something to keep you warm?
I did.
You did.
As a matter of fact, a couple weeks ago, Thinkgeek was having a sale where their stuff was 50% off. And I'd been looking at the Star Trek schematic blueprint duvet set for about 2 years. And so finally, it was on sale. And I was like, I have to get it. So I did. I ordered it. And it came this week. And it came on Tuesday. And I was at work. So I got a little notification. And then it came on Wednesday. And I was at work. And I got a little notification. And it came on Thursday. And I was at work. And I got a notification, the final one. So I was like, okay, Friday I'm going to go pick it up. And it was from the UPS store. And we have a UPS store here. However, that's not where the parcels get put.
Yeah.
They get taken to Muskoka Delivery Services, but I didn't know that. So I went to the UPS store and they told me. So then I drove down to Muskoka Delivery Services and I'm pulling into the driveway and I get a phone call. And I'll say her name was Tammy because I can't remember. Hi, is this Sean? I'm like, yeah. This is Tammy from Muskoka Delivery. I have a parcel here for you. I'm like, are you at Muskoka Delivery right now? And she's like, yes. I'm like, well, I'm just pulling in the driveway. I'll be right there. So it was perfect timing, and I got it. I did have to pay $40 in duty, though.
Yep, that's how they get you.
They get me every time.
I tried the Thinkgeek sale once.
Yeah?
I purchased a Lieutenant Uhura dress, which was $15 with the discount, and then I paid $50 in duty fees.
It's ridiculous.
And it was like the size of a t-shirt, so I felt very ripped off.
I would too.
Yeah.
Yes. So after the American price exchange, the shipping, and the duty, it ended up costing me about exactly $100 for a duvet cover and 2 pillowcases.
Oh, it's just the cover. It's not a full duvet.
You don't get a blanket. You just get the cover.
Oh, that's disappointing.
Well, I knew that's what it was.
Well, I guess $100 though. You should get a full duvet.
Yes.
Yeah, I was going to say, it's not a bad price for a full duvet, not...
Yeah.
For duvet cover, that's...
It's Star
Trek.
Trek.
It's a sheet, basically.
It is a sheet with 2 pillowcases.
Yeah.
So I washed them and dried them and put my duvet in them yesterday, and I slept with it for the first time last night.
Well, that's cool.
So I have it, and I posted it on Facebook, and I got all kinds of likes, and everybody wants one. That was exciting. That's the Star Trek product of the day. But I do have some sad news. And it's not really a celebrity death, but it is one of our own. I don't know if you guys knew who he was. Dan Levitt. He was co-host on the 10 Forward podcast, known on Twitter as Evil Dan or Lieutenant Dan, and he passed away this week. I don't know what the cause was, but the 10 Forward podcast where I met him let everybody know, and there's been lots of outpouring and love and support for Dan's family, and it's just sad news in the world of podcasting.
It's terribly sad.
Particularly on the smaller network side that we're on, like
Exactly. Because the 10 Forward podcast is actually what got Rusted Robot going. Because Cena from that show actually reached out in the first couple weeks that we started, interviewed us on the 10 Forward, got our audience going for us, basically. And I spoke to Dan on 1 or 2 episodes, and we talked on Twitter and whatnot, and hadn't heard from him for a while, actually. And so, sad news.
Terrible.
Yeah. But let's talk about something fun instead to lighten this mood. Finished The Punisher last night.
You finally finished The Punisher.
Have you?
No.
No, we are only a couple episodes away from the end.
Okay.
We have to take breaks because, Frank only has, 1 mode, right? Well, 2. I'm sad, I'm killing things, and that's it.
That's essentially Frank mode.
Yeah.
Yes. I watched the last 4 episodes last night. I just binged them all. I was like, I gotta do it. Gotta finish it. It's great.
Mm-hmm.
It's probably the best Marvel Netflix show.
Really? You like it the best?
I think I do.
Without Micro.
You don't even need it.
I don't know. He made the show better for me.
Well, he was great for season 1, but season 2, this was pretty spectacular. I'm really sad to see it going away.
I need the, the detective lady?
Mm-hmm.
I need more of her.
Madani?
Yeah.
There's lots of her.
Yeah, she's great.
Especially in the last few episodes, quite a bit of her. Once you finish it, you'll have to let me know what you guys think. It's great. And all we have left is Jessica Jones, and then that's the end of the era. And that comes out sometime soon.
It's really too bad.
It is. Yeah.
Well, we'll have to wait for the Marvel... I don't know what they're calling it.
TV universe?
The Marvel...
Streaming app?
Yeah, whatever they're doing for that.
The Disney Plus.
Yeah, they won't be able to do any of the things, though, with the
for
same actors.
For a year. No, they can. They just have to wait a certain amount of time.
I think it's 2 years. I think people won't care anymore by then.
Yes, they will.
Well,
no, they're so fickle.
No, they'll care.
People still care that they canceled Firefly after 13 episodes or whatever it was.
Yeah, but I think...
People care. They don't lose their love for their genre heroes.
I don't know. I feel like if they let it run its course, people would eventually not have cared.
If you think...
I love Firefly too, but it's because it ended early without a satisfying ending that people were like, bring it back, bring it back. I feel like if you let it run out, people would have been like, it sucks just like Voyager sucked at the end. The Voyager did suck at the end. They should have just cut that off early and made people want more. And I love Voyager. It's just that it sucked at the end.
The wait, though, of 2 years isn't that bad. Particularly considering the gap they've made themselves by canceling them staggered like they have. That means the first ones can be in production after the 2 years, while these ones are still, we've already ticked off half a year. So it's only a year and a half, really, for the first ones. Less than.
And there was a good gap of time between season 2 and 3 of Daredevil. So that was a year anyway. Or if not more.
A year and a half gap from the last of the Marvel shows to the next one coming is not that big of a gap.
I don't know. People are fickle.
People are loyal.
No.
And speaking of Netflix, you started watching a show with the kids, did you not?
Yeah, I did. Carmen Sandiego.
I almost started watching it. I haven't. How is it?
It's actually pretty great. So it's animated.
Yeah. It's on Netflix. It's a Netflix original.
Yeah, it's animated in a style that kind of reminds me of Kim Possible. I don't know if you guys remember that show.
I remember Kim Possible.
I saw some of it with kids I've had.
It's pretty cool. It's still similar to original Carmen Sandiego. She was trained to be a spy, a master thief type thing. And this one though, she's a young person, a kid, because she'll be more relatable to children.
Of course.
This one has a twist to it though. She is stealing from thieves so that people get back their valued belongings.
Oh, like a Robin Hood kind of thing.
Kind of. But she only bothers to steal back things that belong to everybody. So priceless pieces of art.
Right. Okay.
Fossils, that kind of stuff.
So they've heroized her.
Yeah. It's still cool though, because she's still being hunted by the police, but now she's also being hunted by the spy organization that she was raised by. Vile, yeah.
Right.
And then they still have all of the weird... Do you remember how original Carmen Sandiego, the way that you'd find her in the first place was figuring out weird little facts about the place where they were going?
Yes.
Where in the world is Carmen Sandiego? Right.
Yeah, so it was a bunch of strange trivia and you had to know the answers to know where she was. They still do stuff like that.
Okay.
It's pretty fun.
So you'd recommend it?
Yeah. Also, Finn Wolfhard?
Yeah.
From Stranger
With the
Things?
greatest name in TV?
Yeah, from Stranger Things. He does the voice of Player, who is like her man in the van or man in the chair. He sits in his bedroom and types away at the computer and hacks things for her.
Oh, nice.
Tells her where she is, where she needs to go, stuff like that.
So you'd recommend it for kids?
Yeah.
Awesome. And you saw something.
I did. I watched this show called Russian Dolls.
And it's a show or a movie?
It's a show. 7 episodes, I think it was.
Netflix?
Netflix.
Okay.
It is very much Groundhog's Day.
Okay.
The main character, it's her birthday. And every time she dies, she appears back standing in front of a mirror in the bathroom at her birthday party.
Oh.
And so she's got to figure out what's happening. Unlike Groundhog's Day, she figures it out pretty much like right away. First time she thought she was hallucinating, and then the second death, she's like, no, I died. I died. Eventually she meets somebody else who's stuck in the loop.
Dying as well.
Dying at the exact same moment as her.
Ooh, okay. And have you watched all 7 episodes?
I watched all 7 episodes last night after Katie went to sleep.
Is it an hour or half an hour?
About 27 minutes, I think it was, for each episode.
That's manageable.
Yeah.
You'd recommend it?
I would. It was very good.
I haven't even seen that in any of my searching through stuff.
I'd give it a solid 7.5, 8.
Okay. Well, I'll have to add that to my list then.
Yeah, it's weird, though.
It sounds weird.
Yeah.
But without giving it away, you definitely recommend.
I would definitely recommend it.
Right on. I have another recommendation. I watched it this morning because I saw it in the Netflix list. Won't You Be My Neighbor? The documentary on Mr. Rogers, Fred Rogers, and his neighborhood and his show, and all about his life. It was really, really good. Did you guys watch Mr. Rogers' Neighborhood when you grew up?
I did.
It was a good show.
It was a good show, and it never really changed, and he was always doing the messages and telling kids how special they were.
Did you know that he always narrated feeding his fish after a certain episode? Because he got a letter from one of his fans who was blind, who was concerned about his fish.
Oh, no, I didn't.
So he would narrate that, we're going to go over and feed the fish now.
Okay.
So
Yep. He didn't say
here you
anything
go,
about
fishy. Here's some food.
Right on.
Just so that she would feel safe that the fish are okay.
He was that kind of guy.
He was that kind of guy.
Nice.
Recently, in American politics, some Republicans and Fox News were talking about how people expect fairness, and they grew up on fairness and it being taught it in school and by Mr. Rogers. And it's like, what? You're disparaging Mr. Rogers for a political point?
There's a lot of that, actually, showing that in the documentary.
It's like, you can't mess with Mr. Rogers. He's one of the trinity of niceness.
Yeah. Who were the other ones?
You got Bob Ross.
Yeah.
Who was the other guy?
Steve Irwin.
Steve Irwin.
Okay. Because I was when I was watching it this morning, I was thinking about the shows that I watched when I was a kid. Of course, Mr. Rogers was there. Mr. Dressup was there.
We have to say goodbye. So until we see you next time, bye-bye from Casey and Finnegan.
Bye-bye.
And me.
Mr. Dressup.
Bye-bye.
And the other one.
Mr. Wizard?
No, I don't know that one.
You didn't watch Mr. Wizard?
I don't even know what that is.
It's a science show started in the 50s or 60s, went all the way through until the 80s. He showed you little science things that he did. He had to show, like, reaction in inertia. Mm-hmm. He had a tricycle that he had mounted a fire extinguisher to, and he'd fire that off, and he'd move forward. And did little experiments, like you put a couple sheets of newspaper with a ruler underneath it. If you hit the ruler really fast, it'll break the ruler rather than breaking the paper. Because of the surface area, creates much more tension. It's a fantastic show. It's one of the kids' science shows from the 80s.
That's neat.
The Friendly Giant is what I was thinking about.
Oh, I love the Friendly Giant.
Right?
Goodbye, Drew. Bye-bye. Bye, Rusty.
Bye-bye.
'Tis late. This little chair will be waiting for one of you. A rocking chair for another who likes to rock. Big armchair for 2 more to curl up in when you come again to our castle. Now I'll close the big front doors and pull up the drawbridge after you're gone. Goodbye. Goodbye.
Yeah, so the old men who would teach kids life lessons.
Yeah.
So those were the 3 main ones when I was growing up. But Fred Rogers, what an incredible guy. Definitely recommend Won't You Be My Neighbor. I know that Tom Hanks was doing some kind of biopic about him too.
Oh, that'd be fantastic.
I don't know if that's come out or it's coming out or whatnot.
It hasn't come out yet.
It hasn't, eh?
No. Because
Okay.
that would be a theater watch.
Well, for sure it would be.
That's Mr. Rogers by Tom Hanks.
Mm-hmm. Right.
America's Dad, currently.
Yes. Highly recommend. You learn a lot. The show came out in 1968 and ended in 2001, or 2000, I think it was. So 5 decades of Mr. Rogers on TV. So many life lessons. A slow show, used silence to punctuate points, inclusive, super fantastic. And I think the world needs more Fred Rogers, especially now.
Yeah. Like I said, the Trinity of niceness.
Yeah, we need more people like that.
Yeah.
Speaking of things that are good for the world, did you hear about Elon Musk releasing all the patents for his Tesla battery and electronic technology to the world?
No.
Elon Musk announced Thursday he had released all of the electric car maker Tesla's patents as part of an effort to fight climate change. In a blog post, the colorful billionaire, founder of Tesla, promised the company will not initiate patent lawsuits against anyone who in good faith wants to use our technology. It was a remarkable move in an industry where the smallest idea or seed of invention is carefully guarded to protect its monetary value. And, in fact, came on the same day U.S. prosecutors charged a Chinese national with stealing secrets from Apple's self-driving vehicle project. Tesla Motors was created to accelerate the advent of sustainable transport, Musk said. If we clear a path to the creation of compelling electric vehicles, but then lay intellectual property landmines behind us to inhibit others, we are acting in a manner contrary to that goal. So, this is good news for the world.
That's really nice.
Yes.
So he has a lot of slack for his pie-in-the-sky, big idea thinking that he does. Because, like, the Hyperloop thing that he proposed, in principle it could work, but in practicality, the engineering accomplishments required for that are too great.
Yeah.
I think it's great that he tried, though, because
that's the thing.
That's a thing from like Jetsons that you would expect to have by now, and I think maybe he just really wanted it to be a thing.
We need visionaries who are trying to save the world.
So, like, I got no beef with him. I enjoy his pie-in-the-sky thinking, because, you know what? Somebody's got to dream big, right?
Yes, they do. Somebody
And this shows that he's not, because, like, he's got billions of dollars already. He's set for life. So long as he doesn't blow all of his personal money, he's going to spend hundreds of millions of dollars every year just throwing it at big things that he wants to try.
Somebody has to.
So long as he's not hurting anybody by doing those, I got no problems with this. I don't see why people got a problem with him.
Me neither.
I think he's pretty great.
And in other news that's great for the world, a new solar paint lets you transform your entire house into a source of clean energy. Powering homes using clean energy is becoming easier thanks to a growing number of innovative technologies and initiatives. Some government projects help homeowners with the financial burden of equipping their residents with energy-generating solar panels, and Elon Musk's Tesla has developed roofing tiles that double as solar panels to give solar power generation an aesthetic boost. Now, a new innovation out of Australia is posed to make clean energy even more appealing. A team of researchers from the Royal Melbourne Institute of Technology, or ARMIT, has developed a paint that can be used to generate clean energy. The paint combines the titanium oxide already used in many wall paints with a new compound, synthetic molybdenum sulfide. I'm sure that's not how you say that word. The latter acts a lot like the silica gel packaged with many consumer products to keep them free from moisture. According to a report on Armit's website, the material absorbs solar energy as well as moisture from the surrounding air. It can then split the water into hydrogen and oxygen, collecting the hydrogen for use in fuel cells or up to power a vehicle. The simple addition of the new material can convert a brick wall into energy harvesting and fuel production real estate.
That's really neat.
So that's awesome.
What does it look like?
Paint. It's paint.
So it just looks like whatever paint color you would want?
It won't be ready for at least 5 years, they're saying.
Yeah. Okay, so I see some problems with it already.
Okay.
Hydrogen fuel cells have been pretty much abandoned by energy production design. They are dangerous because hydrogen is a highly reactive fuel. Coating your house in a thing that gathers up highly flammable material seems like a bad idea.
I'm not sure of the details on how they're going to work it, but it does say the paint could be used to cover areas that wouldn't get enough sunlight to justify the placement of solar panels, maximizing the capability of any property to generate clean energy. Any surface that could be painted, a fence, a shed, a doghouse, could be transformed into an energy-producing structure.
Then it comes, how do you get the hydrogen out? I assume you have to strip the paint and put a new coat of paint on there, and that's going to be...
I don't think so.
I don't think that's how it's going to work.
If it's
It said that that's how it's going to power itself to collect the...
It's a reaction. It pulls the water in and breaks up the hydrogen and the oxygen, releasing the oxygen, holding onto the hydrogen. It has to hold onto the hydrogen to make it viable. You then have to gather the hydrogen from the source somehow. To do this, the only way I can see it is you have to separate it from the paint. You can't just separate it from the paint by just going up to the wall and okay, give me the hydrogen. You have to do it in a container so that the hydrogen doesn't escape.
Well, the article doesn't go into details about how it's actually going to work, and it won't be ready for at least 5 years. So it's exciting news for the world. The paint, Musk and his patents, because it's really sad that I just read an article, giraffes are now on the endangered species list.
Oh yeah, because they found out that there's more than one species of giraffe.
Yeah, it's very sad.
So what they thought was a stable population was actually 4 endangered species.
Yeah, so...
Do you think they can all interbreed, though?
They can, but they produce mules. That's part of the problem.
Oh, that's weird. I can't even tell them apart.
No, but the giraffes can tell each other apart.
Because they're giraffes.
Yeah, they're just mating with any other giraffe.
So we got a bunch of trailers and stuff that came out of the Super Bowl.
We did.
So we saw the, I guess it's the remake of Child's Play.
Yeah.
What do we think about this?
I don't like it.
How come?
I like the original Child's Play.
Yeah?
This looks like you didn't get the iconic laugh.
No, I didn't hear that.
Well, from what I understand in the new one, it's not a possessed doll. It is one of the Wi-Fi toys that has apparently been hacked. And it's just not as scary that way.
Yeah.
But maybe it's scarier for kids these days because they're all into the Wi-Fi and the screen
What kid
time.
isn't afraid of ghosts? Ghosts are still scary.
Are they, though?
Yeah.
Do the kids care about that now?
Yeah.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Kids are always scared of monsters.
Yeah.
The dark. And ghosts.
But now we have
that doesn't
technology.
change.
We didn't
Yeah,
have that when we were
kids aren't afraid of technology. This is to scare old people.
Ah, okay. So it's for our generation.
No.
Who's this movie for, then?
Older people. My parents' generation. They're afraid of, somebody's going to hack my thing. My mom puts tape over her camera on her phone because she's afraid somebody's going to hack it and take pictures, like what, the inside of your pocket?
Right.
Because most people are going to take a thing on my phone, what they're going to get is the inside of my pocket.
Most of mine would be of the ceiling.
Because you leave it on the table or something.
I leave it on the table a lot of the time. Or it would be of the floor because I put it on the floor next to my bed sometimes.
Because how often do you have
either
your
the ceiling
phone
or the floor.
looking at you unless you're texting somebody?
And then what, we're going to get a picture of my face?
Just a picture of your stupid face making a text.
Yeah, but also
what's that word again?
My face is all over Facebook anyway.
Exactly.
I put it there.
Right.
So
an unnecessary remake is what we're saying.
Exactly.
How about...
Also, it's less scary. The possessed doll had a lot more mobility.
Yes.
And, abilities because he was a possessed doll. And, once Chucky got all slashed up in the first movie, he was able to come back because he was a possessed doll.
Yeah, it's supernatural.
After you ruin something that is a hackable... if you put him in a bathtub full of water, he's done.
Yeah. Okay.
Unless he's waterproof.
I don't know if you've ever had a Furby. They are not waterproof.
Yes. They're not, but he might be.
Yeah, I doubt it. He's got movable joints. He's probably...
Yeah, but if you're coated in a thin layer of plastic...
I guess, but his eyes open and close, so...
Again.
I feel like the water could get in there and he'd be done.
Okay. Well, supernatural films are the only kind of films that I won't watch. That and musicals, but for different reasons. But how about...
Because one scares you and one excites you and you don't know why.
We'll go with that. But speaking of supernatural stuff and possible unnecessary remakes, Pet Sematary.
Oh, wait, I don't think it's unnecessary. Pet Sematary, the original one was good.
It scared me really bad.
But it's more than 30 years ago?
More than 30 years ago, it wasn't something that people talked about. I haven't heard anybody talking about Pet Sematary in any big way.
Since the 90s?
Yeah, for a long time.
Yeah.
Even when it came out, it was scary, but it was only scary for a while. It never really became a cult classic type thing.
And it's got John Lithgow in it.
Yeah.
So this is a remake I can get behind. The original was good, but not great.
And it probably doesn't stand up now.
It doesn't. And I think that's where that's when a remake should be made. Good idea, good movie, but it just didn't catch the way it should have.
Yeah.
That's when a remake should be made.
Also, this one, they put a lot more detail into it. Like, I like that they explain more about the actual land that is the cemetery and the weird, like, the people and their weird rituals around it. That on its own is so creepy, whereas in the original it didn't have very much of that.
It was a myth. Kids used to dare each other to go into the woods at night. They knew the power of that place. They feared it. Those woods belong to something else. The ground is bad. It may be just some crazy folk tale, but there is something up in those woods. There's something that brings things back. Sometimes dead is better.
Okay. And it was already really scary, and I'm difficult to scare.
Yes.
Maybe because when I saw this movie, I think I was like 3.
Well, it came out, what, like 84 or something?
Yeah, I
Something
watched
like
it like just before, like the year before I went to school for the first time
Yeah,
in kindergarten.
right.
So I'm difficult to scare, but that movie scared me, and it doesn't anymore, and I feel like the new one might scare me again.
Okay.
So
I
I feel like they've amped it up just enough.
I think so too. Now, Bishop was over this week, and we watched another film in our continuing saga of classic films that he hasn't seen.
Okay.
I pulled out my laser discs and pulled out 1989's Batman, directed by Tim Burton.
Okay.
Because he hadn't seen it, and I hadn't seen it in years and years. We watched it all the time as a kid. It was the greatest movie ever. What a garbage fire this is.
It's a good movie.
It is a piece of crap.
Okay, first of all, in defense of the movie, what year was it made again?
1989.
What year was that?
1989.
That's in the what years?
80s?
Yes. Okay. So you got to take into consideration that.
And when I was a kid, watched it a million times, best movie. Watching it 30 years later, crap, absolute garbage.
Which one is this one? Is this the one? This
That's
is the one with the penguin?
No, that's number 2. This is Vicky Vale and the Joker, Jack Nicholson.
Yeah, that's a good movie.
It's really not. If you watch it critically, it is absolute trash.
Oh.
Okay, again, it's 30 years old, so it's a product of the 80s. You always have to take the movie in consideration as to what it was.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
It's like, we watched Forbidden Planet.
It's fantastic.
It's a slow movie by modern standards.
It's totally slow.
That is a ponderous movie.
1956.
Exactly. So you always take the movie, you have to take into consideration when it was made and the audience it was made for.
Yep.
Now, you also take into consideration that this is really the first big comic book hero movie of the years.
Other than Superman.
Superman in the 70s, right? Cause
some bad sequels in the 80s.
Some bad sequels in the 80s. But we haven't had any for a while at this point. And this is the first one that's not Superman.
Mm-hmm.
So it is a fantastic movie for what it is. It is literally a groundbreaker in comic book movies.
Oh, I totally understand that. And when I was 13 years old, as Bishop is now, watching it then, loved it. We had it on VHS. We watched it all the time. It was incredible. He was bored stiff. It was like, when is this movie going to be over, Dad? It was one of those. And I was like, this is not nearly as good as I remember.
When Bishop was little, though, did you force him to watch the same shows that you watched growing up?
No, I watched whatever he wanted.
Yeah.
That's the problem.
Now I'm forcing him to watch what I want.
Yeah, but it's too late. His timing is off.
Yeah.
He's got the timing of a young person. Snap, 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 snap. There's the movie. It's done. Goodbye.
Mm-hmm.
Our kids, we showed them He-Man, She-Ra.
Damien.
Well, I watched some Thundercats.
Damien and I disagree on which Thundercats is the best Thundercats. He says it's the original because Snarf talks.
Yes, oh, wonderful one. I will do it right now, immediately, this instant. Do what?
And I think it's the 2014 version.
I might have to disavow my son.
Yeah, well, he's adorable, and
I agree that the original Thundercats is fantastic.
Yeah.
But Snarf talking is not a good thing. I might have to go to the room and ground him.
No.
Damien, you're grounded!
He's allowed to like whatever he likes.
And speaking of kids and what they like, Bishop loved all the Toy Story films, and we're getting into Toy Story 4.
You got a friend in me. Wow, this
place is amazing.
Wasn't Buzz gonna meet us here?
He must be held up somewhere. Hey, up here, Astro Boy. If you think you can take our top prize spots, you're wrong. Dead wrong.
Help me get out of here.
I'll help you. With my foot. Wow! Yeah! How you like that, cheetah? Oh, to infinity and my foot! Boom! In the vacuum of space, they cannot hear you scream!
Oh, that's good.
Is it good?
Yeah.
Do we need a fourth?
Yeah.
Sure.
Yeah.
A beloved franchise.
It is.
Number 3 apparently made a lot of people cry.
Also, they space them out in such a way that you never really...
There's a long time between.
Yeah. And they work really hard on their story. Like, they're not just like, another cash grab, let's make another Land Before Time. It's not that.
No. Yeah, anything after the first one's garbage.
Yeah, they're all garbage except for the first one.
First one made me cry.
Yeah, the first one made me
First
cry.
one was the first one I went to this movie to see in the theaters.
That is the first movie I remember seeing in theaters, but it is not the first movie I saw in theaters.
That's the first one I was taken to because my parents were responsible adults and didn't bring anybody under the age of 4 into the theater.
I may have never seen this film.
You've never seen The Land Before Time?
Maybe.
I haven't. Do you want to watch it?
No.
You'll cry.
I don't want to cry. I almost cried
But
during
you
Won't You Be
will.
My Neighbor today.
Oh, well, you'd probably cry during Land Before Time.
I'm getting old and I'm feeling feelings.
Uh-oh.
Yeah. Yeah.
Do Duracell commercials make you cry?
No.
Sometimes Duracell commercials make me cry.
No.
Which is dumb, because I often don't cry for normal things. Like, I can watch a really sad movie and I'm like, oh. But Duracell, they get me in the heart.
So Toy Story 4. Theater watch or no?
I still have to watch Toy Story 3.
I've seen bits and parts of it. I've never watched it all the way through.
Apparently there's a scene that makes everybody cry, so I haven't watched it yet.
Josh?
I would probably take the kids to the theater.
Yeah.
We'll sit them down, we'll watch the other 3, and relatively short before it comes out, and we'll take them to the theater.
Okay. Child's Play in Pet Sematary. Theater worthy?
Child's Play, no.
Can we watch Pet Sematary in theater?
Maybe. That's a maybe for me, and that's a yes for Katie.
I'd really like to see
I don't like going to the theater for horror films. I think horror films should be enjoyed at home, in the dark, snuggled on your couch.
Sounds about right.
So when you turn off your lights, you don't feel safe at home either because the setting hasn't changed?
Yes.
No, because there it's just you and whoever you're watching the movie with. In a theater, I can't enjoy it as much.
But we went to go and watch, what was it, Dawn of the Dead?
We went to watch Dawn of the Dead in the theater. That's a different type of movie. That's a zombie film. Those films should be enjoyed in groups. Large groups. Very large groups if possible. Because you...
Cannon fodder?
Yes. Did we tell you what happened when we watched Dawn of the Dead in the theater?
Possibly, but I don't recall.
We went to go and watch it at the very last showing on a Saturday night.
Was this when you walked home?
So when we left the theater, it was 12:30, 1 o'clock in the morning?
And the streets were bare?
Not a car could be heard anywhere.
Also, I think it was like, it wasn't snowy outside, but there was like fogginess in the air, so you couldn't see very well either.
So we go to leave, and everybody's just kind of mulling out in front of the theater, and we're like,
That was a scary movie. Yeah, scary movie. I think I want to go for Tim Hortons. And everybody else said, yeah, me too. So we all walked together as one large group, although some people did break off because we happened to walk by their house. And they're like, oh, let's go home now because we're in the safety of a large group and we'll be able to make it home
that
safely.
Makes sense. Yeah, for sure.
We didn't see another person until we reached Tim Hortons.
I believe you.
It's not until that moment did the whole group let out a collective gasp of, oh, there are still other people.
It was one of those, yes. So you did tell that on a previous episode. I can't remember which one. But speaking of Tim Hortons, some of our international listeners might not know that that is the quintessential Canadian coffee shop.
It is.
Which has now come back this week with their contest, Roll Up the Rim to Win.
Oh, sweet.
Did you know that?
No, I didn't. I haven't been able to get Tim Hortons for a while.
Okay.
Yeah, he's been having to do groceries after work because I'm not functioning yet.
So buy a coffee, roll up the rim to see if you won a prize. It's 1 in 6 chances. I think it's less than that, actually. But there's a backlash because of all the 300 million cups that they go through during that month of time. Not very environmentally friendly, so there's a petition going around to get them to stop, make it digital or do something else.
But their cups are biodegradable.
They're not.
Yeah, but to be perfectly honest...
But it's like cardboard and wax.
I know.
The uptick in sales is not as significant as people think. People get the cups anyways. It's not a matter of the roll up the rim cups being bad. It's just the cups being bad.
It's not like they're styrofoam, though. They're not styrofoam, they're not plastic, it's just cardboard and wax.
Yeah, but the wax permeates the cardboard and prevents it from being broken down very easily.
Yeah.
Yeah, but it will break down, though. It's not like a Starbucks cup. They're just plastic. Or plastic with styrofoam.
But anyway, that's what's happening in the world of environmentalism. This is turning into a very environmentally friendly episode.
Yeah.
Well, it's a big issue and it needs to be dealt with.
It does.
Well, even the lids will break down. I've seen Tim Hortons cup lids break down. They just need to be exposed to the sun for a while.
So, what they need to do is do a better separation of the wax layers. If they can put a thinner coating of paper wax inside a more biodegradable cup, that would be better for the environment.
Well, yeah, but it's definitely better than, like, milk cartons.
I'm worried about what kind of future we're going to leave for our children's children. But speaking...
For Betty White?
For Betty White and Keith Richards.
Also, for, like... disposable garbage is not that big of an issue. It is an issue, but it's not as big of an issue as people think.
What about the garbage in the ocean, the big plastic whirlpool?
That is a different thing. That is improper disposal of garbage. Here in Timmins, it doesn't matter how much stuff we have. We bury it in a landfill, and most of our garbage just gets buried. And to be perfectly honest, it's not as bad as people think. Leakage of toxic stuff that shouldn't have been thrown out in the first place is generally our big problem, and that shouldn't have been thrown out in the first place. Right. It should have been recycled or just disposed of in a safe manner.
You can bring back medications that expired. You're done using. You can bring them back to the pharmacy, and they'll dispose of them properly.
Yes.
Most people don't.
Most people just throw them. Those are the problems we have with solid garbage.
Yes.
Our main issue is not solid garbage. Our main issue is the atmospheric gases.
Yeah, that's really bad.
Yeah. And actually, in a minor way, solid garbage and the way we landfill it is actually helping slightly. Because open pit or burning of garbage contributes massively to the pollution in the atmosphere.
That's true.
Like, even though it doesn't break down, if you're not using that land for anything anyway, like, they turned a couple of it into islands. Like, isn't Manhattan a garbage island?
It is.
It's an expanded island with garbage, yes.
Yeah.
I remember learning about that in history class. Now, to change the topic, I did a bad thing this week.
Uh-oh.
I was going to go to the ESO Podcast Network's website and find a link for all the trailers to send you, so you could pick this week's promo for another podcast here on the ESO Network. And I was going to do it this morning, but then I got into the Won't You Be My Neighbor documentary, and I totally forgot about it. So I'm just going to play a random promo for another podcast right here.
Hi, I'm Joe Heath.
And I'm Tony Heath.
And we have a sneaking suspicion that you don't actually listen to these promos.
So we're not going to make you listen to one. Bye!
Brought to you by the Watchathon and Rassalon, a podcast where Joe and Tony watch all of Doctor Who and then talk to you about it.
Available on the ESO Network or wherever else you get podcasts from.
But honestly, where else would you go?
WatchYourRassalon.com?
Oh yeah, that makes sense.
And that was a random promo. But remind me this week, send me a text to email that stuff to you so you can start picking the promos.
What a great promo that was.
Right? Got to check out that podcast really soon, if you haven't already. Anyway, speaking of promos, Endgame, Avengers.
Yes.
Some people move on, but not us. Not us.
Jazzed. So jazzed.
3-hour runtime is what they're looking at, and they're thinking about putting an intermission in it, like they did back in the old times.
Oh, that actually is a good idea. It's nice to be able to refill your popcorn and go to the bathroom without, like, missing part of the movie.
That makes sense to me.
Mm-hmm.
3 hours is a bit short for an intermission. Like, it's fine, but a 3-hour movie can be sat through relatively easily.
For most people.
I can't sit through a 3-hour movie.
But, like, you get some of the other ones that are, like, some of the Lord of the Rings are getting close to 4 in theaters. Yeah, they needed an intermission.
I never went to go and see those in theaters.
I saw all 6 of them in the theater. I had to.
They sell more beverages at the beginning and the middle of the movie if you have an opportunity to use the washroom.
Exactly.
Yes, I understand. It's good for the concession sales. The only problem is modern theaters aren't set up for intermission. They're more set up to, okay, this is the theater, this is everybody in the theater, we're going to lock them down.
I guess. Like, you could have people sneaking in and stuff, but...
And it was more common back in the day when going to the theater was more like going to the theater.
Yes, back when like your local theater had a screen.
And you dressed up, and you went out, it was a big thing.
Yeah.
You had your bowler hat, and your tie, and your trench coat, and all that stuff.
Fedora, nobody wore bowler hats here in Canada.
Some people probably wore a bowler hat.
I hate bowler hats. They're one of the worst hats out.
They're a cool hat.
No, they're not.
Spooky wore one. Oh no, he had a derby. Never mind.
Yeah.
Yeah, so anyway, Endgame, we're all going to go see it in the theaters.
Duh. See, okay.
But first we have to see Captain Marvel.
We do. Also jazzed about that. That's coming soon.
March 8th, I believe. Less than a month away.
I'm excited to see what kind of movie it's going to be. I like that they all have a different feel to them. Like, as their own separate movies.
Mm-hmm.
We just saw Ant-Man and the Wasp.
Finally.
Yeah. It was really good.
Yeah, I see it's been released to Netflix.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. We missed it at the theater and very sad about that. So we had to wait for it.
Yeah. I was trying to rewatch the Han Solo movie there a while back. And I got about a quarter of the way in and I was like, I'm good. Even though I saw it in theaters, I was like, I don't need to watch the rest of this.
Is it like a fun space battle, though?
Yeah, it's fine.
Yeah.
It's just not in the mood.
Huh.
Yeah, one of those.
It's not.
Well, did you see it?
I watched about 10 minutes of it.
Oh, well, I'm not going to take your opinion. You haven't watched it all.
It's not good.
Yeah, but you and I have different tastes on things, so it might be good for me.
You might like it. I think you would.
I might like it.
Yeah. But speaking of space stuff, the Picard series is coming near the end of this year sometime.
Okay.
We know that the first season is supposed to be 10 episodes long.
Okay, get in there, get out. And
Patrick Stewart says it's kind of like a 10-hour movie. And we also know that they're setting it up to run 3 seasons.
Okay, so I have a whole arc plan.
Yeah.
That's nice.
That's exciting.
That's the way to do a good series.
Mm-hmm.
Go in with a plan.
Yeah.
Don't be 5. Exactly. He had a 5-year plan. He did have to have problems.
He modified it
because he had no choice. Because he almost didn't get a 5th season.
Exactly. But he designed it in such a way that they could do it around stars and have backdoor people for certain roles, and it was all good. And if you haven't seen Babylon 5, I highly recommend it.
It was the dawn of the 3rd age of mankind, 10 years after the Earth-Minbari War. The Babylon Project was a dream given form. Its goal, to prevent another war by creating a place where humans and aliens could work out their differences peacefully. It's a port of call, home away from home for diplomats, hustlers, entrepreneurs, and wanderers. Humans and aliens wrapped in 2,500,000 tons of spinning metal, all alone in the night. It can be a dangerous place, but it's our last best hope for peace. This is the story of the last of the Babylon stations. The year is 2258. The name of the place is Babylon 5.
It's fantastic.
You've seen it?
I've seen it, but not all of it.
Oh, it's so good.
It is good.
Especially season 2, 3, and 4. But yeah, so the Picard series, that's exciting. Star Trek Discovery released their 4th episode the other day.
So back to Babylon 5.
Yeah, I would love to see a Babylon 5 remake or something. Or just repeats on TV or something like that. That would be awesome.
What about Extended Universe?
Yeah, because they tried with Crusade, but that only lasted 13 episodes.
Well, again, they did the Firefly thing with that. They played them out of order.
Yeah, that never works. It never works. I don't know why they do that.
Well, because the executives think, no, this will be much better if we get the really exciting episodes out first.
Mm-hmm.
Well, then that bunches all your crap episodes towards the end. Your story building episodes. Oh, wait.
And it doesn't make any sense.
And then this character gets introduced after we've already seen him. Like, one character gets introduced, but he was in the previous episode. It's like, you idiots!
Yeah, they kind of did that with the original series of Star Trek, too. It was out of production order, too, a little bit, but...
Yeah, I heard about that.
Yeah, very strange. Did you hear that Denai Guerrera is going to be quitting The Walking Dead after season 10? She's scheduled for a few episodes, but she's not going to be in the whole thing.
So, I pieced out on The Walking Dead a long time ago.
Yeah, we stopped watching it because we only had one TV at the time, and it was in the living room, which is close to the children's bedrooms,
Yes.
and it was giving them nightmares.
I can understand that.
Yeah, we just kind of stopped watching and haven't gone back to it.
The problem with that is there's only so much you can do with that story. It's dragging and dragging. The exciting bit of the zombie apocalypse is the first year is the exciting bit.
Yeah.
After that, you've either survived and you've set up a way to survive, or you're dead.
It's weird that they still haven't, like, found a more permanent place yet.
Well, they keep finding permanent spots, and then it doesn't work out for them very well.
Yeah, but so humanity organizes very well. It's what we do. And the way they have it set up is tiny pockets of civilization who is always led by an asshole. I'm sorry, that's not the way humanity would work. Like, we might have a potent like that, who's a dictator, but he doesn't have the abilities that they generally show in the show, where he's cruel and mean, and it's like, no.
As a tiger?
Like, no, that's not the way this is going to work. Long-term solutions, like, communities won't follow that for very long. Because you need, particularly in this kind of threat scenario, you need a strong leader willing to show, like, hey, we can do this. Build communities, not, hey, we found another human, let's torture them.
That's true. That's true.
No, because you need more people.
Yeah, you do. To build a society. You know who the strong leader is? Optimus Prime.
Oh, that is true.
Yes.
And he's positive.
He's a positive.
He's a community guy.
He's Optimus Prime. So I've got an article that says, during the Hasbro fourth quarter earnings conference call, a bunch of people spoke about the current state of the Transformers brand. And what we have learned is that confirmation, Hasbro and Paramount are continuing their endeavors in the Transformers film franchise since Bumblebee is profitable. Did you guys see Bumblebee?
No, I missed it.
Oh, good. It's good.
I haven't been to the theater in a while.
It says here, on Transformers, in the fourth quarter, it was up both in the US and internationally, so up overall. We really successfully re-engaged fans and families with Bumblebee. It's done over $450 million globally. And so, in addition to this film, which is an important element, and we're working on new film ideas with Paramount in partnership with somebody named Jim Giannopoulos and that team, and they're fantastic. We also have television on Cartoon Network, Netflix offering, and preschool offering. So across the board, it's a brand that really embodies our brand blueprint strategy, and we continue to believe very strongly in the power of the franchise. So basically, Transformers is not going anywhere anytime soon.
It's the new land before time.
So long as they can get it away from the Bay.
From the Bay?
That's what they need to do.
Well, he didn't direct the last one. He produced it, but he didn't direct Bumblebee. And it was the best one. By far.
How many explosions are there?
I didn't count. If I knew that was a question, I would have counted.
Oh?
So, I don't know. Let's see if they can actually get around to making it good.
Yeah. We just have to wait and see.
Yeah.
But it's good that we're always getting quality entertainment.
Remember Beast Wars? Did you guys watch Beast Wars?
I watched Beast Wars.
I think I watched the first season.
That was fun.
Or as it's also known, Beasties. Because it wasn't not of all places.
Yeah, it was also Beasties.
Yeah.
It was a good show.
Yeah. So that's the end of the list of pop culture roundup for this week. But guess what we have? Take a guess. Come on, guess. Guess. You're not guessing.
We have a local comic book shop.
We do. That's right. Last week on the podcast, we didn't do our mandatory plugs. We didn't talk about your store. What's it called?
Jump City.
Where is it?
38 Pine Street, North Timmins, Ontario, in the basement of the 101 Business Complex.
Yay! Yeah, I went there this week, actually, or was it last week? I can't remember.
I don't know, I wasn't there.
Yeah, I know, but I saw your sister, and I picked up my...
Comics?
Star Trek comic, I believe it was, maybe? I can't remember what I bought. But anyway, I picked that up. And we didn't plug the Soul Forge podcast, my other podcast that I do. I still have to get you on an episode one of these days. So everybody, go listen to the Soul Forge podcast and go to Jump City Comic Books. And now we have feedback.
We have feedback.
Can you imagine that?
We actually get to use the little promo piece for our email section.
Do we have one?
We do. Katie recorded it.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Jeez, man.
It's been so long since we received an email or any kind of feedback that I have
Other
forgotten.
than in the hypothetical section, because we have had that in the response to the hypothetical, but we don't use the feedback thing for the hypothetical responses because the hypothetical is its own thing.
Okay, so one's an email, which I'll get to in a moment, but we have feedback on Twitter.
Oh, wow. Twitter?
Yeah, from Jarman, and then a response from Daniel Hitch.
Hello, I'm Daniel Peter Hitch, author of the Connected Worlds Chronicles and the Bubbles the Pirate children's book series. You're listening to the Rusted Robot Podcast. Think about it.
Okay, so this is in response to you. So Jarman, also known as Histrionic Spock on Twitter, he is one of the co-hosts of the Play on Nerds podcast. It says, tell Josh that the inclination in that the Enterprise is new, so it's very first ship with the new uniforms, so they really haven't had time to roll out the new uniforms yet. So that's talking about how Discovery has different uniforms from the Enterprise. And then, so in response to that, Dan says, not to mention a totally different mission, deep space exploration to science vessel would be like Submariner to regular Navy. Both totally different uniforms for different jobs, and given the variety of unknown things that hit the Enterprise, it might call for different attire.
Except it's not a different mission in a different branch. They're both the same branch of the service. They're in the Starfleet. The Starfleet uniform should be across the entire thing. I can understand if Starbases and Starfleet had different uniforms. That would be okay. That would kind of make sense. You're a local base, you're an exploration base. And with their ability to produce the uniforms on the spot, as they've shown they have the ability to do, it's not hard to retrofit your entire outfit with the same outfit. So I don't see this, two different uniforms thing making any kind of sense. A uniform is to show solidarity. You don't want to have people going, well, I thought you guys in Starfleet wore the different colored shirts with the pants, not this blue jumpsuit thing that everybody's wearing. And does a different ship have its own uniform too? Are we just willy-nilly so a uniform has no point?
I've always wondered why certain characters on the ship who are part of Starfleet often don't have uniforms.
The only examples I can think of are in Next Gen.
Yeah.
And that's Counselor Troy. Well, Voyager doesn't count because they weren't really, most of them.
Eventually they become part of the actual Starfleet and they get their uniforms. But, it's always the sexy women's that have a different outfit.
Well, okay, so 7 of 9, her clothes were specifically designed for her because she had certain biological requirements due to her Borg implants.
But eventually she gets a Starfleet uniform too.
No.
No.
Doesn't she?
There was one time in one episode in the
she wore it
in the time travel episode.
Yeah, that's not her wearing it. That's because she was wearing it as a disguise. Because she went to the 37th.
No, that's too far.
So she can wear it, but
it was pretty far.
29th, I can't remember.
She can wear it then, just only as a disguise.
No, because that was put on to her by them. They removed her Borg implants.
Oh.
Because you remember she didn't have the one on the face.
Yeah.
But anyway, I do thank Jarman and Dan for their feedback.
I do. I appreciate the feedback, but I don't think it fits.
Okay.
A uniform is a thing. It's a uniform.
I get it. I understand.
It's to show solidarity. So I don't...
But I see where they're coming from, and there's an in-canon explanation for it, which we don't need to get into, because now we have an email.
Get what we got, Mr. Roboto. It's another email.
Okay.
So this is a note from Corey Robin to your Facebook page, The Rusted Robot.
Oh, hey, Corey.
He ran for Ward 5 counselor here last...
Lost by 5 votes.
He
did a good job.
So it came to my email, but it says it's to my Facebook page, The Rusted Robot. But I looked in all my things, and I couldn't find it anywhere, only in the email itself. So
we got it somehow, so that's all that matters.
We got it somehow, which is great. So, Corey, shout out to you. Thanks for sending us messages. And I didn't respond to him via email. I figured I would wait for now so he can hear it live on the air. So he says, not really a question, well, maybe. I've been enjoying the podcast, binging a bit, actually.
Hey, cool.
That's awesome. I love it. He says, go see Red Sparrow. It's very much what I think Black Widow would be. Josh is right. J-Law is very bland, and all her roles blend together. If you've managed to see Mother, it's a performance of J-Law's that basically all her performances wrapped into one. Once you see that, you've seen all her movies.
Isn't that horror movie?
Yeah.
Yeah, I haven't seen it yet either.
It looks actually pretty good, but I think that's because the story looks good.
And he says, I also have to check out Mech Warrior, which I thought was bankrupt. I wonder if it's the same type of game from the 90s.
So Battletech.
Battletech, yeah.
It is the exact same board game, Corey. They've some minor rules updates, but it's the exact same. Last weekend on Sunday, Sean was over for our weekend game night, and we played 2 matches. It's the same, man. You remember the rules? You remember the giant boards we had before? Yeah, we could do the exact same thing again. The mechs have been redesigned, not technically, but in the way they look. They've updated the looks to get away from the Robotech, Battletech controversy of the early years.
Yeah, okay. And he finishes by saying, keep up the good work, which we plan on doing.
Huzzah!
Yes.
He's one of the guys that I used to play with in high school. We had giant matches where we had to tape all the maps together across an entire floor, and people had to walk gingerly across them so that you can make your move. That's when games would last like 5, 6, 7 days. Because, everybody moves, and then everybody moves, and everybody has like 40 mechs each, so a turn can take like 3 hours.
So you've known Corey for a while.
I went to high school with Corey.
Very cool.
He used to be my game master for Rifts when I used to play that in high school.
Neat.
We were part of a Rifts, well, actually, like role-playing games and magic club at school.
Never got officially recognized.
Yeah, because we wouldn't sell their oranges.
Oh, all right. Well, Corey, thanks for sending us an email. It's definitely appreciated. We love feedback. I think if you would like to be on the podcast, or even the Soul Forge, talk about your run for counselor and how that went, let me know. Always looking for more content for Soul Forge. So you have a hypothetical this week.
I do. Okay, so this week I watched a movie. I watched The Whisper in the Darkness, which is by the Lovecraft Historical Society.
Okay.
So they're big fans of the H.P. Lovecraft series.
Yeah.
It's based on one of his short stories. Very good movie. Fantastic. It's shot on original black and white celluloid film.
Nice.
So it has that look of the old 1950s. So it's a fantastic movie. I recommend it to anybody. So that got me thinking. If you're going to be in a movie or a universe like that, what kind of cosmic horror thing do you think you would like to be in for a setting? So if you have to be in a cosmic horror of some kind. So you got like The Abyss, you have movies like that. Alien, any of the cosmic horror, eldritch darkness things that are mind-bending. You're going to get stuck in one of the universes. The Thing. You got to pick one. Which one do you go, all right, I think I can make it in this one.
Okay. So you're a character. You're you.
You're you.
And you have to survive one of these.
You're going to be placed in one of the cosmic horror, eldritch darkness, mind-bending movies.
Oh, no.
Yeah.
I'm doomed, man.
Game over, man. Game over.
Game over.
So which one do you think you would be in?
Okay.
The field is completely open. So, like, any movie that kind of involves the big cosmic horror or the...
Event Horizon?
Event Horizon is a clear example. Pick one where you're in that movie. You.
Okay. With all your skills and abilities.
Just
normal you.
Yeah.
Okay.
Which one do you think you would do best in?
Okay. So, listeners, if you'd like to respond, tweet us at The Rusted Robot on Twitter, therustedrobot@gmail.com for emails. Write it on the Facebook page, Facebook group, whatever you want. Sound good?
Yep.
All right. So that is the end of our show. Just want to thank everybody for coming by and wanting to know more today than they did yesterday. And if you would like to share links of the podcast anywhere on social media, go right ahead. Go to therustedrobot.podbean.com for all of our links. Check out the Facebook page, the YouTube channel, and all the other good stuff. And remember, weird is a side effect of awesome. You have been listening to the Rusted Robot Podcast. To contact the show, email therustedrobot@gmail.com or tweet us at therustedrobot. Join the Facebook page and group and visit the website at therustedrobot.podbean.com. The Rusted Robot Podcast was put together by Sean and Josh and the Rusty crew. Please remember to check out our other show, the Soul Forge Podcast. Visit Jump City Comics in the 101 Mall and leave a glowing review in your chosen podcast app. Thank you and have a geeky day.
The Rusted Robot Podcast. Think about it. fun to think up new things to do with your old toys, isn't it? In fact, it just makes you feel good to be alive when you're playing and making up things. That's why I make up songs for you. It's such a good feeling to know you're alive. It's such a happy feeling you're growing inside. And when you wake up ready to say, I think I'll grow 12 inches today. It's such a good feeling, a very good feeling, the feeling you know you're alive. It's such a good feeling to know you're in tune. It's such a happy feeling to find you're in bloom. And when you wake up ready to say, I think I'll grow 12 inches today. It's such a good feeling, a very good feeling, the feeling you know you're alive. That's for you, that new song.
This has been a broadcast of the ESO Network. Be part of the crew and help support our shows by donating to our ESO Patreon or by shopping through Amazon.com or the TeePublic store, which can all be found at www.esonetwork.com. The ESO Network, your station for all things geek.